In this exercise, Chapter 1, Practice 2, we will sum a column and sum a row. In addition, we will calculate an average, find the largest value in a series, find the lowest value in a series. We will begin in cell B10. This is where we want the sum of first quarter cells. I click the cell to indicate where I want the sum to appear. On the Home tab, in the Editing group, click the AutoSum button. Notice that a marquee pops up and it's highlighting 10,000 and 8,000. The formula that's in B10 is equals sum B7 through B9. All formulas will begin with an equal sign followed by a command word, which is in this case is sum. And it says sum cells B7 : means 2 B9. This is incorrect. We want to add the 5,000, the 10,000, and 8,000. So why did it only grab 10 and 8? The reason Excel is programmed to locate the nearest numeric values. There is a blank cell above the 10,000, and so it stopped and picked up the 10,000 and 8,000. To redirect this, I'm going to use the pointing method. I will place my cursor in the middle of cell B5. Notice that the cursor is a big white plus sign. I will click. Now I will drag down to cell B8 and lift up. Now our formula has changed to say sum B5 to B8. Press enter. This formula in B10 summed a column. We also want to sum column C, D, and E, and we will also want F. So I could do the same process by using the AutoSum button in each one of these columns. It is quicker though to copy. So I'll click in cell B10, and there's a right green square at the bottom of that cell, which is referred to as fill handle. When I place my cursor on the fill handle, it changes shape to a dark plus sign. Drag to the right to fill in columns C, D, E, and F. Let's examine what happened. In B10, it said sum B5 through B8. The next column, it says sum C5 through C8. The next column, it says sum D5 through D8. The next column says sum E5 through E8. The formulas are appearing here in the formula bar. This copy process is called relative cell addressing. You can only use relative cell addressing when you're copying to the next cell. Now let's calculate a total for Nike. Click in cell F5 to indicate where we want the sum to appear. Using the AutoSum button on the Home tab in the Editing group, I will click AutoSum. Notice it says sum B5 through E5. I will drag over B, C, D, and E and press enter. Notice that time it did select the correct values, but I'm just reinforcing what I want to do. I will click on cell F5. This calculated a sum in a row. We also want to sum row 6, 7, and 8. I will copy the formula down. Grab the little fill handle at the bottom right hand corner till your cursor changes shape to a dark plus sign, and then hold the left mouse button and drag down and lift up. Let's examine what happened. In B5, where we're summing Nike, we said sum from B5 to E5. That's what it says here in the formula bar. When I click in the next row, we are saying sum B6 through E6. So it's calculating the sum for Adidas. The next row says sum B7 through E7. The next row says sum B8 through E8. Once again, we're using relative cell addressing. We are copying to the very next cell. Now let's convert our totals to currency. Okay, so we're going to drag over a series of cells that we want to convert. Then on the Home tab in the number group, we're going to click this number format button. We will select currency, change our decimal places to 0. We want the dollar symbol to appear, and then here is a list of ways we can select our negative numbers to appear. We'll select the first option and then click OK. Notice our totals in this row have been changed. Now let's total column F. Click in F5, right, and drag down to F8. On the Home tab in the number group, click the number format button, select currency. We're changing it to 0 decimal places. Want the dollar sign in the very first option, and then click OK. Now some of you might say, well, why not come up here and just click currency? We could, however, the default, notice the default here, it adds the dollar sign, it adds the comma, and it adds 2 decimal places. Since we wanted 0 decimal places, this is why we had to go to the number format so we could change our decimal places from the default. Alright, now let's calculate an average. We'll do a first quarter sales average. Click in cell B11 where we want our average to appear. On the Home tab, next to the formula bar, we'll click the Insert Function button. We are going to type in the search for a function box the word average and then click Go. Average will pop up and select a function. We'll click on average and then click OK. It wants to know what series of numbers we want to calculate an average for. I'm going to drag over the B5 through the B8. Notice as I'm dragging over, it's, oh, I'm sorry, I picked up the B4, so I'm going to go back and redirect. I just hit the delete key till it cleared out. I'm dragging over B5 through B8. Notice, oh, let's try that again. B5 through B8. Notice it's already come up with an average of 7666.66667. We'll click OK. So we calculated an average for a column. Let's look at the formula. Here, all formulas and functions must start with an equal. The command word follows next, average, and we're averaging beginning with cell B5 to B8. Well, we want in column B. So we want to average column C, D, E. So I'm going to use the copy process by clicking in the middle of cell B11 with the white plus sign, move my cursor to the fill handle till it changes to a solid plus, and then hold down the left mouse button and drag to column E and lift up on the mouse. Now let's calculate a maximum value, which means we're going to look for the largest value within the quarter. So I'll click in B12. We're going to use the function, so I'm going to click the insert function button. I'm going to type maximum and then click go. Max will pop up. Notice when I click on max, it says here it returns the largest value in a set of values. We'll click OK. It wants to know where the series of numbers are that I'd like to calculate an average for. I will drag from B5. Notice my cursor is in the middle of the cell and has the large white plus sign. I'm going to drag from B5 to B8. Notice it's already come up with an average of 10,000. Click OK. I calculated an average for a column. It says, I'm sorry, not an average, the max. We calculated the largest value in a column, column B, rows 5 through 8. We want to calculate the largest value in column C, D, and E. So I will click in that cell, grab the fill handle, and drag to the right. Remember, this is called relative cell addressing when we are copying a formula across or downward to the very next cell. Now let's calculate a minimum. Minimum is finding the lowest value in a series. I will click in cell B13, click the insert function button, and I'm going to type minimum and go. We're going to select min. Returns the smallest number in a set of values. Click OK. It wants the location. I will drag from B5. I'm in the middle of the cell with a big white plus sign. Hold down the left mouse button, drag down to B8. It's already come up with the smallest value of 5,000 in that column. Click OK. So we've located the lowest value in a column. We want to do that for column C, D, and E. Using the copy process, I'm going to go to the bottom right corner, grab the fill handle, my cursor changes shape, and drag to the right. Alright, let's go ahead and make that currency with the 0 decimal places. So I'll drag over all those values. On the Home tab, in the Number group, I'll click the Number Format button, select Currency, set the decimal places to 0, $ for my symbol, and click OK. Now we want to, alright, I'm going to take these numbers and I'm going to click this button here in the Alignment group on the Home tab, Align Right, so all of my numbers are at the right side of the margin. Alright, so now we're ready to save the file as ch01pr02Excel, the A standing for answer. Chapter 1, Practice 2, these are the answers. So we go to File, and then you're going to click Save, and then you will save it on your hard drive.